Okay, so we got a round 3 on a guy here. You weren't here for the first few parts of this guy, but this dude's name is Blvkscratch, and he's requested a third reacts, which is ballsy because I've already given this guy all kinds of shit, and I've got a pretty good point to make on this one, and I feel like I'll be once again vindicated, justified, whatever, in my opinions on these matters.
Cool. So we'll start with the email. It says, "Hey, it's Caleb. I wanted to do an update and all that junk. I've added a lot since last video. You can also pull videos off my Instagram. Greatest regards."
So I'm not taking much from Instagram. So this is what he looked like the first time we did a reacts to this guy.
Yeah, he's got an interesting vibe.
So the funny part about this is, for anyone who's been watching this for a while, they may remember the story, but Caleb here, Mr. Blvkscratch, said when he sent me his original email, I went back, tried to find it, but I couldn't find it. If I can find it, maybe I'll throw in what he said in here, but he said he had accomplished all his Blackwork goals, and I said,
No, you haven't.
No, you haven't. You haven't done anywhere close to all your Blackwork goals. The minute I look at this and I see tattoos still, it's like, no, you haven't done anywhere close to that. So, yeah, this is what he looked like on his second feature. You can see he'd add more. And
oh yeah, I like his additions to his face.
Well, I was
that looks
like,
nice.
Yeah, that's cute. You're not done yet. I literally remember saying, like, you're not done. Like, at that point, it was like, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm close to. It's like, you're not done. Here's where we are now.
Oh man.
So,
the black eyes look really nice with his eye color. Holy smokes.
So then, okay, so we got some white on black happening on the neck here, which is, it's mostly doing the thing that I always say it will do, where it's like really faint.
Yeah.
So you gotta bolster that with
black.
But get some black outlines on that bad boy. You'll be thanking me for it. He used to have like a Gengar on his neck and all this shit.
Okay.
Yeah, he's done all kinds of like extreme work. See, he's covered more of his arm here. He's blacked it out again or something. Looks like he just had a session on it. That's what it looks like.
Yeah,
anyway.
it looks kind of fresh there.
Looks like something's going on.
It looks puffy.
I don't know what the hell's going on there. But
Anyways.
you see this from afar, you can't really see that white on black very well, like what it is. But his face is just about gone.
Yeah, he keeps going farther in on the face, hey?
Looks like he's done some color on black on his hand, too. Is this what I'm looking at here? I think so.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can close up on that.
Yeah. Color on black.
But again, without the black, it's hard to decipher.
Right?
Yeah, he specifically requested a review of his new stuff, and he's done a lot more on his face, like way more on his face. And,
oh, yeah.
Like, I think what ends up happening here is, like, it's got to be a full face tattoo.
I really like the script above his eyebrows there, though. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's hard to tell what the hell it says. It looks like he's done more since that other picture, too.
Something soul.
Lost Soul?
Oh, yeah.
I think that's what it says
there. It
there.
does say that.
And that moon that he had done is...
basically gone.
Basically gone. Like most of the old stuff, that the way that he had framed it has just been blasted over. But the issue with like when you keep kind of constantly adding to your face with these things is like it. I mean, it's maybe not an issue for him because he likes the scratchy look, but it looks more and more messy as time goes on. Right? Like you have different levels of like the layering gets kind of like congested and hard to read.
Yeah, it does. I definitely agree.
Like some of the original design work that was achieved has kind of fallen by the wayside.
I personally like the earlier version of the face with
which one?
This one.
The second version?
Yeah, personally. But I like the addition that he has over his eyebrows, and I like I don't usually like blacked out eyes. I think they look really cool on him.
I hate to break it to you, but this is the color my eyes are.
Yeah, well, shit, Jer.
So you're basically indirectly saying that you would like my eyes.
Maybe I would.
I don't have any ambition.
No, I think it looks really cool. Usually people who black out their eyes have like blue eyes or really dark eyes. You don't often see the light brown eyes with the blackout.
I mean, to me, it's like my big problem with the black eyes is it's got this really unifying look to it where I feel like, and someone will be offended by this, but I feel like the look of having blacked out eyes makes you look similar to everyone else that has blacked out eyes. It kind of takes some of the character away from your face or your eyes in general. Like they're just more like, I don't think the correct term is alien, but it has like an inhuman othering look.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's especially black. Like I've seen like
purple
and green and like
blue,
red eyes and stuff. They don't look quite as like otherworldly to me. Mm-hmm. That being said, I think they can look better and worse on other people. Like I said, in that Ink Travel Guy feature, I think they would look pretty sharp on him, but he doesn't have a whole lot of extreme stuff going on.
Right.
It can get to a place where I feel like it's too much, and like I think this makes sense for him. Like, don't get me wrong, and I'm pretty sure I would have called this anyway, that this was going to happen just based on the look of his other work prior when he was saying that he had achieved all his Blackwork goals 2 years ago. I'm like, oh, well, Blackwork hasn't achieved all of its goals with you. Blackwork will tell you when you're done. Unless you're really, really like hard lined, you will run over your lines.
Yeah, and
you will cross every one of them.
I think that like he's probably a person that just generally likes getting tattooed too, right?
Yeah.
Like I think you probably are similar in that way.
Similar, yes, but there are some things here that don't work for me. Like to have this much work all over your face
and arms.
I think that you really should. No, not just arms. Like it's whatever. Like. To have that much work on your face and doing multiple layers on your face, I feel like you should have, most of your body finished. I haven't seen anything from him on his legs. Like
yeah,
he
could have
no idea
blank legs for all we know.
What's going on his legs. But this back piece that I see here is enough to tell me that he needs to do a lot of work still. And so the fact that he's got so little visible on his face, of his like negative space on his face, tells me that there will be more done there, and that's not an issue for me. I've revised my face tattoos many times as well.
Yeah,
it's just that like it's been almost in proportion or proportionately less than the rest of my body. Like more work has gone under my shirt than over my shirt.
Oh, of course.
Like my torso was like the bulk of my work. I've done so many areas that you never see unless I take my shirt off, like ad nauseum. So like the love of tattooing for me was like most of it was spent and like even before I had full sleeves, I had a mostly full torso.
Yeah.
It was like working on my back, working on my torso piece forever, and then reworking that forever. And as I proceeded in other areas, you would just naturally, like, you would come upon a little more on your face. Right? Yeah. It's like almost like you're building your face out as the rest of your work is progressing.
And for you recently to your face addition that you've kind of added is because you weren't satisfied with the original ending.
I was not satisfied with it last time at all. The first time I was satisfied for where I was at, like the original forehead peak.
Yeah.
It's just that it was pretty fine line and it was too high.
Yeah.
Like I felt like the ending looked good on my original head tattoo, but like it was too dainty and not far enough down. You get into this weird like body dysmorphia thing though, where your brain is always wanting to go farther.
Yeah.
So then you have to look at yourself and go, do I actually want to do this?
Right.
Like you kind of constantly have to, because you're going to trick yourself. And like, if you don't do that, you end up changing these things constantly, like, and doing things that you're not really even certain of, and then you just end up in strange territory. Mm-hmm. Like his face has come a long way very quickly.
Oh yeah.
Like from 2 years ago.
Yeah, he's done a lot on his face.
It's like night and day. Here he is in September 6th, 2022 to this. Like it's crazy how much change there's been. The issue is that in 2 years' time, there isn't room for him to continue that on his face.
No, he needs to continue it on other parts of his body.
But the face is such a gratifying one, right? Like it's like you get the most dopamine from the things that affect the most.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the one. Regardless of what people will say about, oh, he's doing it for attention from others. No, even for yourself, like that's what you interact with the most.
Yeah.
Right. Like you get a minor version of that with your neck and with your hands and things that you interact with a lot. But the meat and potatoes of that dopamine of like heavy change modification comes from augmenting something that you see constantly in your reflection, right? And so he has come to a place now where it's almost impossible to proceed further, and it will almost surely consume the rest of his face.
Oh yeah.
Right, and you can do more layers from then, but once you have a full face tattoo, the game has changed forever. He's almost in that territory now, right? Whereas a couple years back, he was still mostly a normal-looking dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it's like it's a strange thing. Like I would do much more of the like if you enjoy being tattooed, I would do much more of that in other places and give your face a long break. Like really, really look at it for a while and decide what you want to do with it before you do any more. Because I can almost promise you more is coming into this.
Oh yeah.
Like I can almost promise you, because every time he said, this is it, it's not it, right? And I'm not even mocking that. It's really hard.
You're not saying it in a negative fashion necessarily.
No, it's just that this is a force of nature when you get into heavy mods, where it's like you can end up in a place you didn't want to be in.
Well, it kind of, to me, and this might not be everybody's favorite analogy or like whatever comparison, but I always think of it as the same as like the girls that get their lips done.
Oh, it's the same thing.
And then like you see them and they're just like a little bit done, and then you see them a year later and they're a little bit bigger, and then eventually they look like a Bratz doll.
Body dysmorphia.
Yeah.
It's the same thing that was happening with my labret piercing. It was like it became less about like even enjoying it or like how it was to live with, and more about I want to go bigger, and then it's like, oh, I'm bigger than I ever wanted to be.
Yeah.
Right? Like you don't even notice until it's too late. And like with that, it was easy enough for me to dial it back. But like there's some things that are hard to dial back, right? So like we look at, I'm not saying this guy's going to do a whole bunch of laser or ever even regret this, but like when you do these heavy face tattoos, you can't really go away from that, and you get into a situation like that Zombies Low guy,
Yeah.
right? And so it's just really important that when you're doing this much work on your face in such a short amount of time like this, that you're like conscious the whole way and like really thinking this through. Now, I think the work is decently done. He's got some blackout from Hood.
Yeah, I think it looks like, I think this is a nice looking suit.
I don't know who's doing the face stuff, but it's good for the scratchy style. Like this is really good stuff. My critique of the white and black on black, or the white and color on black, is the same as always. Like it will all be better if you put black on black in there. Your black is not too black to cover. Whoever's doing this work needs to listen to this. It needs to be boldened with black. You can't just keep doing color and white. It's not going to be that striking.
No, the black's like,
I'm going to keep thumping that drum until
I agree.
It's just the way it is. It will be better if you do it that way. I'm living proof of this.
Yeah.
Like none of this happens without black on black. None of it does. None of it. Now the red doesn't look as red. The blue doesn't look as blue. Nothing looks the same as it does without the black on black. So that will upgrade the look immediately if he gets into black on black stuff. Especially considering like he likes black work. Black on black should have been the first part. Like
Right.
that should have been the first direction to go in.
I agree with that.
It would upgrade the whole thing. And you're running out of space on your visible areas, so I would just start working on your legs and what's under your shirt there. There's a lot of space on his back. Like keep doing this, keep pushing the boundaries, but it doesn't have to be just in the places that you see all the time. Right? You can do that in like I've got 2 years of experimentation on my torso with Rick every week.
Oh yeah.
Like all the tentacles and all that crazy horse shit.
Yeah, people don't usually see it.
There's more work on my torso than anywhere else on my body. Like by far. something like 30 layers in most of that. And yeah, those areas all suck to get tattooed, but it's a good place for your experimentation and for your thrill of the body mod journey, you know, because it's not going to cost you anything if it goes wrong or if you have to fix things or anything like that. So I would just say start working under your shirt and your pants and stuff. You got a lot of real estate to go through yet.